The so-called godfather of craft beer has died at the age of 78. With his namesake beer, David Geary was a titan in craft brewing, not just in Maine, but around the country.
When he founded his brewery in 1983, there were only a few craft breweries in America, about a dozen. He spent some years getting his ducks in a row, learning to brew beer with a classic British technique from British brewers in the UK. And the first pint of Geary's Pale Ale poured from a tap in Portland's $3 Dewey's in December 1986. Since then, Geary's has been a staple of microbrewing. But D.L. Geary did it just for the love of beer he wanted to drink, and he found his work very rewarding.
It is hard work, and it's backbreaking work sometimes. But at the end of the day, you sit down and drink a beer. There's a circularity to that, that's a wholeness, a oneness, that's a wonderful feeling, a feeling of satisfaction.
Throughout Maine's craft brewing scene, people are remembering the legacy left by Geary.
We spoke with his business partner, an author, and the man who took over Geary Brewing. All of them credited the success of Maine's beer scene to D.L. Geary. Tom Major, who is a local beer historian, asked Geary to write the foreword in his book about Maine beer. Major says Geary was hardworking and even stubborn at times. He says Geary at first didn't want people to see his centuries-old process in making beer, but soon opened up and paved the way to how craft beer is today in New England.
I remember when there was no craft beer on the East Coast. I remember when there was no craft beer. So when Geary rolled out in 1986, I had it shortly after. I had it in 1987. It really transformed the market.
His family posted on Facebook that he passed away Wednesday of this week. They do plan to host a happy hour at some point in his honor. He was 78 years old.
When Geary's Pale Ale first went on sale in 1986, it was pretty big news.
And our Bob Elliott wanted to tell that story.
Are you tired of the same old American beers and going broke drinking the foreign stuff? Me too. Fortunately, I've got some good news for you. There's a new brewery in town, yep, right here in Portland, and it promises world-class beer at working man's prices. Welcome to the Geary Brewing Company. It's called Geary's Pale Ale, a crisp, full-bodied beer with a pronounced hop character. For David Geary, it's a dream come true.
5 years ago, I began to think, what a great idea. Brew your own beer, brew a beer that's made locally for local people, that's fresh, that has all of the qualities that great beers of the world have, but make it available to the average person.
Now, we almost had our own beer last year. The Maine Brewing Company came out with Portland Lager. One problem, when you read the fine print, you find out that the stuff is made in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I didn't know they had lighthouses out there. Now, Portland Lager started off with a bang, but sources say sales have slacked off considerably. Poetic justice that leaves the door wide open for a real Portland brew. Congratulations, David. Very nice looking beer.
Thank you.
Good enough to be on TV. Scotty, why don't you get some pictures of those hops over there? I think make some nice pictures.
I didn't see any hops, Bob.
You're trying the bat over there. I think they might be in there.
What hops do you mean, Bob?
I don't know. They got to be here somewhere. Geary plans to brew about 60,000 cases the first year. He'll start with local distribution, then the state, Boston, and someday, maybe the world. Once Geary Ale gets on the market, in all seriousness, do Bud and Coors stand a chance?
Well, listen, I got a call from Augie Bush just the other night, and he said that if we threatened his market, he'd squash me like a bug.
The new ale hits the bars on Monday, the stores next month. Nice story. Local boy makes good beer, has fun, lives happily ever after.
And it was a good story. When D.L. Geary sold the brewery in 2017, we sat down with him for one more interview.
And we got a moment of reflection.
All in all, it's been a good ride for you, I assume.
It has. beyond good. It's been a wonderful ride, a wonderful journey, and I couldn't be prouder of what we've accomplished.
We'll be right back.